So a couple days ago, I received this ticket from somebody in my Discord server, which at the time of recording this, I don't know if they want me to say who they are or not. So I'm going to be kind of like omitting certain details out of privacy concerns. But basically, this person was telling me the deep, dark secrets of Dress to Impress farming servers. And my goodness, we have a lot to discuss because I didn't realize there was so much to this. And this person is very generous to provide this information. So we're gonna get straight into it, and keep in mind, this is just this person's experience. Other people may have different experiences. However, I thought this was important to highlight for anybody who may be interested in joining Dress to Impress Discord servers, not the official one, but farming servers. I have my own opinions about it, but we're not gonna get into that in this video necessarily. And I do also wanna clarify that I am not naming a specific farming server. So just take this as a broad statement to be wary and look out for red flags that this person mentions when you're doing any farming server, because farming servers aren't inherently bad, but there are some things that you should look out for and should not do because it's just not ethical. Now, basically, they started off with background, and I'm reading what they said. So I'm a part of this farming server in Discord, which hosts farming and fair voting servers. I'm gonna keep that part out. I've been hosting for over a month. In order to host, you must follow several requirements, being 15 plus, hosting 7 times a week, following server rules, and alternating between farming and fair voting. Hosting these servers seems easy and fun at the beginning. I'm always seeing people in the general chat asking how to become a host. Everyone wants to be a host. You get picked custom themes for a whole server, you get special access to channels, and most of all, status. I understand being a mod in a Discord server is completely different, but I remember in several of your videos you point out how many mods aren't paid, and they get a lot of teens and young adults to do it since they're eager to take the position and gain status in the game or server. Well, in my opinion, being a host in these servers for Dress to Impress farming and for voting is very similar. The sheer amount of pressure that comes with hosting is actually crazy and so surprising. Which I had no idea there was so much background to this, but my goodness, guys, we have to get into it. And this person was kind enough to write down like the steps of what they have to follow anytime they host a farming server. Now, if you guys know what this is, basically in Dress to Impress, if you ever play like a random round and you basically get no stars, that's because people aren't fair. And so the whole point of these like servers, Discord servers, is for people to come together and do basically private servers in Dress to Impress to either A, farm, so everybody's supposed to give everybody 5 stars, or B, do fair farming or fair voting, where basically everybody's supposed to be honest and, you know, authentic with their voting and not just give people 1 stars because they want to win. And so basically that's the whole point. It was interesting to note, and something that I don't know if this server does particularly that they're talking about. However, a lot of Dress to Impress farming servers actually make money through partnerships, collaborations, and just by, you know, people advertising them, because you can make money on Discord. Now, obviously that varies based on how big your server is, but it's an important factor to group in here that for a lot of people, this isn't necessarily just a passion thing, it's a profit thing. Or regardless of if it's monetary profit, it can also be, you know, status profit, where they gain control over kids. And that's something that I, you know, have my opinions about. I don't really think it's great that adults are always running Discord servers meant for kids and kids audiences, because it allows them to get some sort of like weird upper hand and control over children, which is just not my cup of tea. But regardless, we're gonna get into it. So they were kind enough to provide this step that they have to follow anytime they host a server. They said, step 1, post a reaction message in the channel farming or for voting, and you have to get a certain amount of reactions in under a certain amount of time. If you want to start a server and you fail to get those reactions, you must post the host channel you failed to get the enough reactions and switch from whatever channel you sent it to farming or fair to farming. So I guess there's different channels, and if they don't get enough reactions in the span of 15 minutes, they have to basically tell people that they didn't do it, which I know they're not necessarily saying this, but it seems kind of like a form of like almost like public shaming, like, guys, I didn't do it. I'm going to the other channel now. Like, I don't know. That seems really... 15 minutes? That's a really small time frame. I don't know if I could get 15 reactions in 15 minutes, and I have a couple people in my server. Like... Step 2, if you have 15 plus reactions in your time frame, you must send over a server coming soon message. And by the way, these messages are very strict formatting, and you have to review and edit it by the head host or moderator in order for you to see them or for you to use them. Which is like, not only are you not being paid, but you have to get a certain amount of traction on your thing, and then somebody has to review your stuff and confirm your stuff for you, which is like kind of weird. The whole head host moderation thing too is almost like, it comes across a little bit, just the way I'm reading this, kind of like predatory, in the sense that I have control over you and you can't do anything without my approval. Kind of weird. Then they go on to say, after posting your server's coming soon message, you have to run over to the premium channel and post your link in the server. You're required to wait 3 minutes for all players that have premium to join. So I'm not quite sure. Premium channel and post. So I guess is a premium channel, from what I'm understanding, is that people who pay the Discord server to get like premium access to this stuff, like first dibs, or is that people on Roblox that have premium? Because I would assume it's people in the Discord server that have like some sort of status that get first dibs. And so every other peasant, guys, if you don't own premium like me, you're a peasant. And you have to go and wait and get the sloppy seconds of everybody who decided it wasn't worth their time to join. Very bizarre. After the 3 minutes are over, you can post a link in early access. You must give 2 minutes for players to join your server before finally posting in the regular channel for everyone else to join. So I guess there's like tiered systems to this. So yeah, this Discord server, from what I'm understanding, would be making money because they're selling like status to people. That's interesting. Step 4, after 3 minutes. Okay, yeah, and everybody else can join. Then they put in a section in the server. Once everyone has joined the server, and it's incredibly stressful because people often will not join too fast, you must send your welcome message saying something like, "Welcome to farming, I'm your host. Vote everyone 5 stars to avoid shutdown and under 50 stars. Post on the runway and hype each other up in chat. If you have fun, leave me a review." And I guess these people are getting reviewed? This is like a whole job. After that, you must send a custom theme into chat, and you can just do regular themes, so players will get upset if you don't do fun custom themes. I've experienced players saying my themes are basic as well on several occasions. So guys, you better think of something pretty original, otherwise you're done. Okay, you're done, you're canceled. This is just so insane. During voting, you have to constantly remind everyone to either vote 5 stars for everyone in a farming server or vote everyone at least 2 stars in a fair voting server. Not only is it incredibly demanding, but you must do this for a minimum of 30 minutes in order for it to count towards your 7 logs for the week. So we discussed this previously. They have to do 7 of these a week, so 1 a day. That's like, once this is all said and done, like you spent at least like an hour and a half of free labor working for this Discord server that is, from what I understand, collecting money from people having premium and early access features, and you get paid nothing? What? Mind you, you're creating these messages for different channels, getting them approved, coming up with new themes, and putting them in Google Doc, all while making sure you're completing your logs by Sunday at noon. The fact that there's an exact time for this is crazy. After you end the server for whatever reason, the votes were too low and you had to go, you were sick or tired of putting in all this effort and not getting anything in return, you have to delete all your messages in the main channel, post pics you took in the server, and create a log in the host channel saying your user, the server type, the reason you ended it and when you started it, when you ended it, the duration of the server, and the date. After all this, you're finally free. I have much more to talk about, but my workout is cutting close. Okay, so here's the next message. Reviews. There's a channel called Reviews. This is where players can review their host and the server. Many people rate the host, the server, the votes, and maybe give some compliments. I've only ever gotten 1 review in a whole month of so of hosting. That's probably over 40 times hosting full servers. The whole channel is full of reviews, and I read each and every single one of them. And after every review, a piece of my self-worth, my confidence, and my heart is chipped off. That is so sad. What the... I'm gonna be so for real, which I probably like maxed out my mic so many times during this video. I am so shocked. Like, this is like borderline, like, in my opinion, emotional abuse. Like what they're putting these people through. Then they have a section about hosts. There is a hierarchy of hosts. For starters, there is a head host. You better be careful not to host any server when they're about to host, because everyone will immediately leave yours to join theirs. It's happened to me and several other hosts before, and they may not realize how this makes us feel, but it makes me angry and sad. It makes me feel like people in the server don't take me seriously because I begun hosting a month ago. Additionally, there's a host chat. Many hosts will often talk about something funny or weird that happens in the server, and everyone starts chatting about similar experiences. I don't know what's so off-putting about seeing my name in the chat, but for some reason, nobody likes to acknowledge anything I say unless it's replying to someone else's conversation. So not only are you being asked to do free labor as a child, you're also ignored and bullied if you don't say specific things. That's crazy. Overall, hosting farming and fair voting servers is very stressful, especially when 12 players are waiting and counting on you. I will acknowledge that this is only my experience in this specific farming Discord server, but I assume it's rather similar everywhere else. But mind you, I am 15 years old first of all, busy with my studies, and thought it would just be a fun little thing to do, but it's not at all. In all honesty, this experience has made me play Dress to Impress a lot less in my free time. I will often see my friends online and just play a different game because I'm so tired. And then they have this little section on positives. There are several positives about the server. Most of them being positive is when you're not a host. I did experience the server originally as a player alone. It was fun. You get to join these servers and farm stars, but still play. They even had 24 out of 6 servers if you want to farm overnight. But this is all when you're playing carefree and not have to worry about meeting all these requirements. And when you tie requirements like these to a game you love, bad things happen. Please let me know if you like any screenshots, digital information, blah blah blah. Yeah, and then they have like a message with a format, which I'm not going to put in because I feel like that might be identifying to the server. but they have a specific format that they must follow. And, you know, I'm not trying to make this video too long or too ranty, but genuinely to this person, which I am going to send them a message like after I finish recording this, you need to leave. And not because you're not good enough, not because, you know, you aren't good at what you do, not because you're not smart enough, not anything like that, and not because of anything to do with you. It is completely 100% having to do with this Discord server. And I'm going to be very, very blunt here. This is borderline. That is what it is. And, you know, obviously I'm not naming any server names, so keep that in mind. But there are a lot of Discord servers, especially ones that are geared towards kids, that frequently utilize a sort of behavioral system where they encourage kids to be submissive, they encourage kids to not ask questions, and they encourage kids to just blindly trust people of a higher status because they're a higher status. And that opens up avenues for predatory behavior. And I'm not saying that the server is inherently, I'm not saying that at all because I don't have experience in this specific server. However, when you have this weird sort of power dynamic, especially with children, people who are still developing, people who may not have a full grasp of, like, you know, what is right and what is wrong, not be like considering bad and good, but, you know, what is appropriate behavior? What is inappropriate? Is this okay? Am I supposed to just be used to this? Is this something that normally happens? It is very, very, very dangerous. And sure, maybe the person who owns a server may not be a bad person, right? However, when you have people like head hosts or moderators who are moderating children, which I can guarantee there's people in this server that are adults, if they have a position of power over anybody, especially kids, it creates this toxic and very honestly, frankly, dangerous sort of relationship where kids are actively being exploited for their free labor. Any grown adult or any person, you know, who has a full-time job, a career, whatever, they would not be doing this kind of work. So these kind of servers made for kids games, particularly geared towards kids, will then hire kids and exploit them for free labor because they know kids don't have the same expectations of compensation as adults. And that to me is great enough, and I think that is really disgusting. Now, it's different if, you know, this was just like a server that was meant for passion, whatever not, but as we read it, and as we learned more, why would there be different tiers of channels for premium users and for early access users and then for basic users, right? Why would that be the case? And this person did not really say it from what I understood, but it sounds like to me that there's almost some sort of like payment system, or maybe it has to do with server boosting, but regardless, there is some sort of financial trade-off for the owners to be running the server, and that is apparent with the ranks and how strict the server is. And I think it's unfortunate for the server owners, from what this person's saying, to, you know, from my perspective, be making money and then not paying people for their time, you know? In no other platform, in no other world, is it appropriate to have kids do labor, especially labor that is intensive. And people could say, oh, it's on your computer, it's not that intensive. But when you're dealing with what this person has highlighted here, psychological, borderline abuse, where you're being demeaned by players, demeaned by other chatters, you're not being spoken to by other hosts because you're not good enough to be spoken to. That is an abusive environment, and it is exploitation of children. That is what it is. It is not appropriate, it is not healthy, and children should not be in a position where they are doing this kind of stuff. And this is to no fault of this person. They're a child. And so anybody in the comment section would say, oh, well, then you should just walk away. This person is a kid. Okay? And I'm not saying that they're stupid or anything like that, but, you know, kids want, and even adults, they want to feel accepted. They want to feel like they're valued. They want to feel like somebody needs them. And that is a completely normal human reaction to have. And that's a completely valid feeling. And what I think is so scummy about a lot of these servers is that they take advantage of that. They understand, oh, you know, this kid wants to be highly regarded. This kid wants to have some sort of control. This kid wants to feel like they're important. So, hey, you can work for a game for free and not get paid. How about that? And, oh, by the way, if you don't meet these certain criteria, you're fired. And you're gonna get reprimanded in a public chat. Like, this whole kind of loop of like public shaming and like demanding behavior and like blatant like just like the fact that you're doing all this labor and you have to do stuff during a specific timeline to a specific standard, following a specific template, and then to get ignored by everybody, that is so weird. And to anybody who's in these servers, you do not deserve to be treated like this. You deserve to be compensated for time. It does not matter how old you are. It does not matter if you're an adult or a child. Everybody, their work is valuable and your work is worth money. Your time is worth money. Your effort, your mental health. You, as an individual, you are worth it. And I think it is so scummy when these servers portray it like you're disposable. And they have so many people waiting to take on this role that it doesn't matter if you leave, we'll just get somebody else. Good. Get somebody else, because nobody, especially kids, deserve to be put in a situation where they are actively being verbally abused by players, ignored by people who work on the server, don't get any support, and are publicly shamed for not performing well enough. Like this, honestly, this reflects almost like But I'm hearing like a pyramid scheme in real life where you have to meet a certain sales quota. You don't get paid unless you do a certain amount of sales a month or stuff, which in this case, you're not even paid. This is just purely like a scheme. There isn't really a pyramid to it financially, I guess maybe status-wise in the server, but this is very similar to a pyramid scheme where there's someone at the top and all these people under them that have to follow a very specific set of rules, and they all answer to the person above them that then answers to somebody above them, and further up, I'll put a picture of a pyramid scheme on the screen, I'm sure, but this is incredibly frustrating, and to anybody that is in this situation, please leave. You are worth something, your time is worth something, you are valuable, you do not deserve to be mistreated in this kind of environment, especially by people who are actively profiting off of you being mistreated in your free labor. So with that in mind, I thought this video was a little bit more of a serious video, but an important video to put out there. And keep in mind, I did not mention any specific server names, and I'm sure people have positive experiences with Dressed to Impress servers like this, or even other Roblox servers, I'm sure. However, in this specific situation, this person's experience, this is not acceptable. This is disgusting, and honestly makes me feel sick to my stomach. And I genuinely do hope that anybody, including this person that's in this situation, recognizes their worth, recognizes that their time is worth, something. And, I understand you want to be helpful to people and you want to do something, then make your own Discord server where you do this kind of stuff, and where you show people what it's like to be treated properly, where you show people what it's like to be treated with compassion, because you don't deserve to be treated like this, and this is honestly disgusting. So with that in mind, let me know if you guys have experiences with this in the comment section below. Do not name any server names, we don't need drama. Just give like a vague summary. But with that in mind, thank you guys so much for watching. If this person responds to my message before I post this and says I can credit them, I will credit them accordingly. If they don't respond or say no before I post it, I'm just not going to say their name because I don't want to put them in a situation where they feel like, they have people coming at them. So regardless, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye!